Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome to this video. My name is Sophia and I'll be guiding you through this video. And today we're gonna do neurosketching. This algorithm is a method for processing emotions and thought through spontaneous sketches and lines. It creates space for free expression and process of inner state without complex techniques. It's really useful for both adults and children because it's really simple, and it helps reduce tension or become more calm and confident, or find creative solutions or explore your imagination. So what do we use this method for? You can use it to reduce stress, because the spontaneous lines and figures help releasing emotions during difficult days or moments of tension. You can also use it for creative problem solving because it can help with stimulating your imagination and provide with new perspectives when alternative solutions are needed. You can also use this method when you need something to fidget with, like while you're listening to some lecture, online class, or subject in school, or just some interesting podcast, honestly. Like for me personally, I think this method is really nice because I don't know, I have really trouble listening sometimes in class. So for me, I always need to fidget with something. So drawing something or just fidgeting with something is just perfect for me. So this method is actually perfect for me when I need to concentrate or just fidget in general. So yeah, and my last example, you can also use it for a quick task warm-up to help activate your brain and prepare yourself for like productive work. So yeah, the first thing you do is that you take a black marker or just the darkest one you have, and you just start drawing these spontaneous lines. It really is just random. You can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can take all the time you need. You can do it in 5 minutes, you can do it in seconds, you can do it while you're talking like I am. You can do it, like, it can take as much time as you need. There's really no time limit at all, and you just do them as sharp as you want, or like just get out with your feelings. I feel like this marker is not that, what is it called? Visible. So I'm gonna take a new one and draw some spontaneous lines, and this one is also kind of dry. Why does this happen when I need to film? Good that I have a lot of them. Okay. But yeah, just let your mind go, just let it be free. And as I said, just make as many lines if you want. Also, if you just need to let your feelings out like fast, like if you have some kind of anxiety or frustration, you can just let it go. Don't think about it too much. It really is not that deep. So when you think, okay, I have enough, or at least just want to start by rounding off what you have, because I have a lot of lines that I need to, or like a lot of corners that I need to round now, right? So just start anywhere you want. I would recommend always go at least 2 times or like 1 time extra over the lines, just to like make it make it more powerful. Whoops, that's okay. So yeah, it really is about just creating harmony with the lines and sharp corners. Like, there is not really much more into it. A bit later, you can also add some figures like circle for maybe calmness, or triangle for activating energy if you really feel like you need it. And you can also make rectangles for stability. So yeah, but I would recommend just taking your time and not stress about it, because it really is about not stressing and about being calm and letting go of the tension that you have, or just whatever feeling you have. Maybe you're not even frustrated or you don't have anxiety right now, but you just want to be able to concentrate on the lecture that you're listening to, or just enjoy the podcast. So yeah. I think I'm gonna head back to you when I'm done rounding all the sharp corners. Okay, I think I'm about to be done with rounding all the sharp corners. If you want to make sure that you got all of them, you can look from another perspective and just turn around the paper. I already see a little one. But yeah, it just gives another kind of image of it. You can also take a picture and look at the picture. Sometimes you're also gonna discover some new corners that you didn't round. But I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world if you miss a corner or two or something. It's just the sharpness just creates like chaos kinda. So rounding them off creates harmony, if that makes sense. So yeah, the next step, like actually this is fine. Like you could literally end here and say, this is it. Like I don't need to do more. You can color the places you want. You can also not do it. You can also, what I said before, draw a circle or two or more, or you can also not, but it's optional that you can draw a circle for some kind of feeling that you want to have. Maybe like calmness or inspiration for like the lecture you're listening to or podcast, or something else like a word, or you can, if you want energy, you can draw some triangles anywhere, and for stability you can do some rectangles. And I think for me, I would honestly love to have some inspiration, so I'll think I want to create a circle right here. Ooh. Okay. And it's optional to write what the meaning is. It's just for yourself, But I think I will just enjoy the moment and just start rounding it off. Okay, now I've made my circle of inspiration, and let's just make some triangles for energy, honestly. And yeah. Ooh, that's all right. There's another triangle, Maybe that was meant to be. You can make more, actually. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna start with this. Also remember, you don't need to round off the corner of the triangles. Just the inner, like the inside of the triangle is important to round. So yeah. So you can just leave it like this. Okay, so I'm done doing the triangles. And before I move on and make a rectangle for stability, I think I'm also gonna take these kind of areas where it's kind of not connected and just drag them out to the edge of the paper, because I don't know, it just creates more, it just looks kind of prettier, and it also creates more of like a better connection, So we're just gonna find some places where it could need some improving. Like right here, it's kind of just popping out. Maybe this one. And this one. I think, okay, actually this place is also a bit unconnected, you know? Okay, so now I'm gonna do this optional again. I'm gonna do a rectangle for stability. You can do it anywhere. You can also make it over the figures that we've already made. You can do it here. I think I want to do it here. Or do I? Yeah. Okay. Stability. Okay. Very good. Now you just round it. Again, the corners here don't need to get rounded. Only this like inside corner or edge, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, I think this algorithm is a really good starter for anyone that needs to like understand and learn what Neurographica is. So yeah, if you have a friend that is interested but you don't know what to link to them or how to explain it really, I would recommend just sending a link of like this video or just tell them about this method, because it is really simple. Like even for children, I think it's okay easy to understand, because there is not much to understand in my opinion. Like of course there are some methods and how you do the narrow lines, but with time you're gonna like learn it. And the thing is, you can do it anywhere, anytime you would like, so, and for as long as you like. Just remember to finish the work before leaving it, because unfinished work is always a bad thing to leave. So yeah, okay. I think I'm actually done with doing the sketch now. And what I could do now is just leave it, or I could color the figures I've had and also the background, or I could just do the figures. And I think I'm just gonna do the figures, because I don't know, I feel like they're not really popping out. You can also take another really what is it called, thicker marker, and just highlight the figures or parts you think are more important, just to make it pop out, you know. And then round it, of course, the sharp edges. But yeah, it's really optional. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some coloring. I think for inspiration, I'm gonna go with the yellow. Yeah. Okay, and I think for my rectangles, I'll take a green. Okay, for stability, I think for me personally, I think it's a blue. So I'm gonna do a blue. I actually think I'm gonna be done now. So yeah, you can optionally do the background if you like, but as I said, it's optional. But yeah, I would be so happy if you would like and subscribe, or also leave a comment. I'm more than happy to answer the questions. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you maybe in another video. So bye bye.